Hey, welcome to the OSHA Compliance Help Show. I am Sheldon Primus, your host on this one, and I am going to help you with OSHA compliance help. And truly, this is a part of what I do. I am an active safety consultant, so therefore, I know a little bit things about OSHA because I have to do some informal conferences from time to time to help clients out. I gave everyone a little bit extra time to give me some questions. So I have my phone here, and I'm going to check and see what kind of questions I had going on. If you do have any questions on OSHA compliance and you want me to help you out with that one, then go ahead and put in the actual chat wherever you're looking at me. I am currently on Facebook. I've got a bunch of Facebook groups. One is OSHA Compliance Help. One is Shelbro Safety, which is my company with my business partner, Kevin Yarbrough. I got a safety consultant Facebook page, a safety consultant Facebook group. Then also my LinkedIn, have that as well. So all those things, Twitter, Twitch. What else are we on? YouTube. We got 2 YouTube channels that's streaming this right now. So I don't know if I could see the chat on the YouTube channels, quite honestly, the comments. But I do see the comments coming in from Facebook. I see the comments from LinkedIn. I do see the comments from Twitch. So if you're wherever you're listening to me on right now, this is the OSHA Compliance Help Show. So I'm going to help you with any OSHA compliance issues that come up. I saw that I kind of froze myself there. I think I took a picture when I shouldn't have. So you'll see me come back in a second. So my picture did freeze. I'm aware of that. I got, hey, it's Sheldon. Whoever that is, I don't know why, but on Facebook, I really can't see why Facebook just doesn't tell me right away what's going on. So truly, I have to say your name as well. So who was that? I kind of think it's Steele, Sylvester Steele, my buddy, but I don't know. I don't want to take someone's credit if it's not. So those of you that are on Facebook, let me know. Pedro, keep it up. Great work. Pedro tells me. So good job, Mr. Machiel. And God, it's some guy that you know. Okay, great. Thank you. So I will definitely keep on going. So I did get one of no Steal. Oh man, gonna mess me up with this one, Mr. Facebook user. If you do have an OSHA compliance help question, maybe for you, for your clients, because I do work with safety consultants. So if you do have an OSHA compliance help question, then go ahead and let me have it, and I will give you a live response. So I'm gonna go back. Oh man, Facebook user, heartbroken, you don't know me. Oh, hey. Facebook user. Oh, you're killing me over here, man. You're killing me. I want to know this one, but you're killing me. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out. I can't rack my brain on that one. So I'm going to go to my LinkedIn question that I got from Nate Brayman. Redbeard set me up with a record keeping question, but let me go find this one first, and I'll start with him. So his record keeping question, a little bit convoluted. I kind of think that he was just messing with me because the way it was worded, which is very, very possible. Jay Allen. Oh, love you, man. Speaking of Jay Allen, if you haven't heard, he just done broke the internet again. The man not only came up with Safety FM, the broadcasting network where he collectively have broadcasts and podcasts on that network. He done broke the internet again with Safety FM Plus, and it's on all devices, if you will. So you could see Safety FM and not all, but a few of the different shows. They have special content on Safety FM Plus, which is like for better terms, it's a LinkedIn, a Netflix type service. So therefore, it's a subscription-based service, but you could get it on anything. I mean, truly, you could get it on your Apple TV. You could get it on, I use well, every time I'm in Airbnb, they always have Roku. So I could watch it on Roku. I could watch it on my, I use Amazon Fire Stick. So, you got it everywhere. So the man just the mind works in a mysterious ways. The man created Safety FM Plus for us. So go for it, everybody. Make sure you go to safetyfmplus.com today. I mean today. You want to check this thing out and go through, and I threw in a few things on OSHA compliance help on the show as well, or on the channel. So I think I have my own OSHA compliance help channel. If that's the truth, that'd be awesome. But I did actually give them some stuff, and you can see it there. So you'll be able to check that out. So yes, Jay Allen did it again. My man. So good guy. Love my man. So anyway, I'm going to answer this question for Nate. And if anyone else has some questions on OSHA compliance, I'm answering it live. So let's go ahead and I'll help you out with this stuff. So anything that you may be going through right now at work, and you're the safety guy, and now they're telling you, hey, safety guy, what do we got to do here? Or what are you doing here? I got you. So go ahead and give me the question. So Redbeard comes up with this one. Here's a question. Here's a good question for you. He says, if an employee is at work, but on lunch, and decides to go to a local sushi bar, I think we spelled sushi wrong. I'm not too sure about that one. But anyway, sushi bar. That is outside the work environment. Okay, so that wording right there, it means he's setting me up. Once you hear the wording outside of the work environment, that's a setup for record keeping. So he's doing this outside the work environment, discovers he's allergic to shellfish. Whew, tough one. Goes to the bathroom to check out the swelling in his face, but on the way slips on the greasy floor, hits his head, loses consciousness, and all these things that he's saying is, like little buzzwords for record keeping. Loses consciousness, wakes up later in the hospital being treated for a severe allergic reaction and a concussion. Is this recordable? That's what his question is to me on recordability. So if you guys are following the logic, someone's at work, they decide, hey, let's go to sushi for lunch, and now they have a shellfish allergy. All of a sudden they discover this thing. I, first of all, would be saying, you never had shellfish in your whole life until right now, just before lunch. And then what kind of roll are you getting? I guess it must be like one of these fancy California rolls where, they got the crab in there. But, well, that's mostly vegetables. But you do have some of them with the little shrimp on top. So maybe that. But in their whole life, they never had shellfish. Okay, so let's go ahead. So forget that part. So you're at work. OSHA record keeping. So if you're in 1904 for record keeping, that is the part. 1904 is the part for record keeping. That whole record keeping section is broken up in many different ways. So it becomes a little bit difficult. Even people in OSHA, they have to keep going back to 1904. So what he's really saying here in this question, you could throw out anything that goes after work relatedness. So anything that once the person is outside of the work environment, and that's a tricky question, the work environment section, but if they're outside of the work environment, and then also if they're outside of their working hours, then they're on their own. So in record keeping, what they're looking for is you have to be doing something in the interest of the employer, or you have to be at this location as a condition of your employment. So if this person is leaving work, going to the sushi bar, gets an allergy, they're now outside of the work environment. And now they're not doing anything in the interest of the employer. So the work environment would include vehicles, would include if they're actually doing some sort of work, like if you take a company car and you're just driving around, that's what you do all day, and you're taking a company car. And if now you're over at your gas station fueling up this company car, That's an action that has to be done for you to use that vehicle. So that is in the interest of the employer. So if you were to slip, fall down, hurt your head, or now you need stitches or something similar to that, that is recordable. But in this situation, the person removed themselves from the work environment, and they're not doing anything as a condition of their employment in the interest of their employer, which is what you would, the OSHA would you have to say that in order for this to go, then this would not be recordable in this event. So the loss of consciousness and everything else that follows in that list, it doesn't matter. At that point, the person moved outside of their work environment, and once they moved out of their work environment and they're not doing anything in the interest of their employer, they're doing something that is known as their own personal advancement or whatever, all right, it's not recordable at that time. So that is the long-winded answer for that one. Nice job, Raymond, trying to trip me up on that. Anyone else? I'm going to answer your OSHA compliance help questions live. So you got any questions that you have on OSHA compliance, don't throw me off with maritime or ag. I know them, but not as much as I do general industry and construction. So if you got a general industry question, a construction question, hit me up on that one. I will definitely help you out. That's what I do. I help you with OSHA compliance. So while I'm waiting for another question, I know you guys are probably racking your brains. Stump the consultant. What can I do to stump the consultant? So go ahead if you got one of those that you know and you want to see if I know. That's okay. I'm good with those as well. So while I'm waiting for the next question, I just put up two things. One is the Safety Consultant Blueprint. You could actually get that course if you haven't done it yet. If you're considering being a safety consultant, go ahead and get that course at Safety Consultant Blueprint. And then the other thing that's going by is kind of scrolling because I see Me Too on that one. That's the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, go ahead and do that. Or if you're not listening to Safety FM, download that app so you can hear the podcast and broadcasts of all the shows on Safety FM, including Pedro's show. He is the safety factor, the X Factor safety. Sorry, man, I messed up your show. My bad, brother. I just messed up your show. Oh, actually, I might be in Houston coming up in the next week or the week after. I think I'm in Houston. So Pedro, let's get together while I'm close to you, if you're still in that area. So I'm not too sure. All right, another question. If you guys have them, put them in the chat box. If I don't see a question, then chances are it could be on one of the other services, such as Twitch. But I do think I'm going to see some Twitch questions there. So I'm not too sure. Most people are watching me on one person's on Twitch. I got a couple in Facebook. So if you have a question on OSHA compliance, go ahead and put that in. The other thing I'm going to add while we're at it, I've been thinking a lot about this transition that's about to happen with going from a Republican to a Democrat. Every year, or every time there is a change from Republican to Democrat in the Oval Office, there's always a change in OSHA and in their mindset. So therefore, I have been really thinking about what to expect. And we're going to probably expect more regulation coming up. And that's really what you want to go to. All right. So we got Doc Martin over there. I'm assuming that's our LinkedIn user. So if she has anything to add, go ahead and throw that in. Again, this is going to be live, answering questions on OSHA compliance. So if you have an OSHA compliance question and you needed a little hand, something to help you out, go ahead and put it in the chat box. I'll do that too. And I actually have my CFR for general industry here. I got my 1910 around. But generally what I'll do is I'll just show you guys on the screen what that means so you could take a good look. So let's go to the OSHA website while I'm waiting for any more questions. Again, just type in whatever questions you have on OSHA compliance. I'll help you out as best as I can. Today I do have a 10-hour OSHA class I'm teaching online, so I'm not going to be able to spend forever with you guys, but I do want to give you guys a good information. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And what I'm going to show you, we're going to start with the OSHA website. That's generally, OSHA compliance help, right? Might as well start with the OSHA website. So let's take a quick look at the OSHA website over here. And this is going to be a couple of ways you can find record keeping. Just to stay with that first question that I had. Over here you got your laws and regulations. You click on this one. Scroll down a little, and then you see record keeping over here. OSHA has truly dedicated a lot of resources for record keeping. So as you scroll down over here, you can see a lot of different record keeping. This is the whole subpart, the whole 1904 part is in here. So you could really break that down. So this is where I gave you my answer, where it's like determining work relatedness. So as I had to determine work relatedness, I needed to really dig into this over here. So I gave you guys the layman's version of what this is here. You know, the work environment. If you are supposed to be there as a condition of your employment, then that's a worker environment, including your vehicles and whatever location you have to report to. And then the other thing that you're looking for is, are you doing anything in the interest of your employer? This hyperlink over here, they have so many letters of interpretation, and then these two as well. So if you really, really want to take a deep dive into record keeping, that's where you need to go. It's tough because there's a lot of nuances in every situation, but truly it's not rocket science either. You can figure it out if you understand basic definitions, is really what it boils down to. All right, so I'm going to check and see if I got anything else coming in. Good morning, Jesus. We can see you on Twitch. Cool. All right, so Twitch is seeing me. LinkedIn, I got a name on LinkedIn, so Jesus, cool. Again, this is a live broadcast for OSHA compliance questions. If you got a question, this is the time to get your answer. I'm going to answer your questions that's gone around at work, or if you got a bet and you're like, hey, I got a bet that this is OSHA's compliance. I'll help you with your bet. I'll help you out. You don't even have to give me a cut on that bet. So go ahead, type in your compliance questions. I'm going to answer it live for you. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go back. Let's do one of these. Don't click on the red because you're going to end up at the Department of Labor. You don't want to do that. You want to click over here, and this is going to get you back to OSHA. This one is for me. I honestly think by now we should start seeing the most frequently cited standard for last fiscal year. So I'm going to kind of look that up right now while I'm with you guys, and it's going to be under commonly used statistics. So let's see if these numbers are in yet. If not, they're late. Yeah, they're not in yet. They're really late. So the numbers over here should be updated by now. Honestly, normally it's updated in November, and it's just not there. This number is updated, so we see the top 10 most frequently cited standards. So I'm moving my camera just a little because it's kind of blocking my screen. All right. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I'm speaking with you just live. Oh, that just cracks me up. So, Jesus, there you go. And that was the response to that. Oh, excellent. So let's look at the top 10 most frequently cited standard. Fall protection construction, always the number one in construction. HAZCOM, always the number one in general industry. So those things don't really vary. Scaffolding being up to 3 is new, but the reason why I would say this is new as being higher up than normal years is because if you're in general industry, scaffolding used to be in subpart D of 1910. It's not there anymore. It's now incorporated by reference that you, if you're using a scaffold in general industry, you have to go to 1926 subpart L, and now you need to follow subpart L, which actually is a little better for you. There's a few nuances difference between the old subpart D scaffolding and subpart L, and the subpart L one is better for when I say subpart L, I mean that is in 1926 construction. It's got a little more leeway for you because of the competent person side. We don't have the competent person definition in general industry. except now in Subpart D for fall protection. That just started, 3? Well, can't be 3. OSHA's been stagnant for 3 years plus, but I guess it was 5 years now with Subpart D being changed and adding fall protection. So that doesn't surprise me that scaffolding is up. I'm going to zoom in a little so you guys can see it. You can follow it along if you click through your computer with me. So that's good too. Hazardous energy, lockout, tagouts up there. Respiratory protection. I bet you next year this is going to go way up because of COVID. One of the things that OSHA has been cited with COVID is not having people not following the respiratory protection guidelines. So then that one, I'm going to go up there and say it's going to be maybe in your top 3. It's already in the top 5, which is pretty high, but it's never going to beat fall protection and HAZCOM, but it's probably going to take over lockout, tagout minimum. But if we're going to make our top 3, that means it's going to have to go over to scaffolding and beat out scaffolding. Ladders and construction, that's number 6. 7 is your powered industrial trucks, your forklifts, which is about to get a change in that standard. Fall protection training is number 8, and training is kind of tricky. So if you're in fall protection in general industry, your fall protection height starts at 4 feet. If you're in construction, that height starts at 6 feet. This training, and I just clicked on the hyperlink that was right on the page that says construction and this fall protection training. All I did is click over here so you can follow along with me. I'm going to scroll back to make sure that I catch all my comments. So Jesus, you're right. He was a safety professional. Did everything safe, right? I guess there's like any safety practices walking on the water. Maybe there's some something that he had to do there to make sure for drowning hazards. I'm not too sure, but chances are he was safe on that one too, right? So there we go. Hold on, where's that lightning? I don't want to get struck over here. Don't get me in trouble, Jesus. All right, so I'm going to show you the part that's probably cited a lot, and most people don't know about this, but here I am helping you out. So in this standard, they tell you the curriculum you need to use, and if you don't follow this curriculum, then it's going to be a citation for you. So right here in 503, they're telling you A, and that's how you would say this, 503A1, that would be section 503, paragraph A, subparagraph 1. So 503's paragraph is A, and then a subparagraph to A is 1. So that's how you would say this. The employer shall provide training for each employee who might be exposed to fall hazards. The program shall enable each employee to recognize the hazards. So that's one thing that you have to do, recognize the hazard of falling, and shall train each employee in the procedures to be followed in order to minimize these hazards. So those two things is the core of your curriculum, recognizing the hazard and then training the individual on how to minimize these hazards. And then they go a little bit further, still under the training program. They're telling you in A2, the employer shall assure each employee has been trained as necessary by a competent person qualified in the following areas. So that competent person needs to have this qualifications in order to do the training. So if you don't have these qualifications, you can't be the person that's conducting this training. And that's where a lot of the citations are coming. So I'm scrolling back. So nice. I love this one. So Jay and Jose, great. When you're scrolling down over here, what you're going to see for, I'm also going to help you guys with, so A2II or Roman numeral I, double I, so that's 2. That is the subparagraph to 2. So how you would say this is section 503, paragraph A, subparagraph 2, subparagraph II. So paragraph A, subparagraph 2, subparagraph II. So if you're looking at it, it's a linear. So 503 would be here, A would be under here, 2 would be under that, I would be under here. So it kind of goes this way. So that's how you would read this. It's important to know that when you're dealing with OSHA, because that's the way they think, that's the way they talk. So you should think and talk the way they do. Over here, this is telling you that the person, again, they need to understand the nature of the fall, the corrective procedures for erecting, maintaining, disassembling, and inspecting fall protection equipment. Even that section over there is saying this person who's training really needs to understand all components of the fall protection system, then all components over here of guardrail system and controlled access zones, and all components, and pretty much is really what that breaks down to: the safety monitoring, municipal equipment, all that stuff. So then this over here, 503B, you need to have a certificate of training. And not only do you need to certify that these workers have been trained by a qualified and competent, not qualified. That's two different things. Good morning, Juanita. How are you? Hopefully everything's going good with you. Do I have knowledge on MSHA? Ooh, man, you're breaking my brain over there, girl. I do not have that much knowledge on MSHA. I actually know someone that does have MSHA, like really, really good knowledge. So send me a text either on LinkedIn or a notice on sheldonprimus@outlook.com. That's my email. And I do know a specialist on MSHA. He's awesome. One of my students that took my OSHA classes. So he is really good at MSHA. So I can't go out of my field there. I'm going to stay in my lane. I know OSHA like the back of my hands, but MSHA, I know kind of, but I just don't want to push it. I can answer OSHA questions live. I can't answer MSHA questions live. So I'm just going to say, send me a message and I'll hook you up with someone who I know for sure is a specialist in that area. He's Man, looked like I lost everybody for a second. That's like my bad. I got everyone back. Still see some people there. So hopefully I didn't lose anyone. I've got someone that says they need my help. Can you contact me? So sure, go ahead, and you could also reach me at Sheldon at well, let's do the easy one. SheldonPrimes@outlook.com. That's the one I gave everybody, so go ahead and use that one. So if you need to get a hold of me, that's the way to do it. Again, any questions that you had now that I'm back, I'm re-entered into the studio. I don't know why I got kicked out. Of course, Mr. Allen will say, your internet sucks. And he's right. He's telling me that all the time. It does. But anyway, what you're going to do is type into the comment section whatever your question is, and then we'll go through and answer that. I'm only going to be on another couple of minutes because I do have to prep for a class today. I only know about permanent required confined space, Juanita's telling me. And I'm a confined space specialist, so if you do need any extra stuff on permit required confined space, that's what I've done most of my career, as being a wastewater operator. And there's even a little section in subpart J in 1910 that is specifically for wastewater and entering sewer systems, because we're different. We do that all the time. Most people with confined space entries, they only do it every once in a while, but that's like a daily job for what I used to do. So that one I'm good at. So if you do have a question with that one, go ahead and throw it in the box, and I will help you out with that. All right. I don't see any other questions. I don't know where I got kicked off with telling you guys about the fall protection certification. So I'm going to just show this one more time real quick where I was last before my internet so rudely said, I'm done with you. You're out. So over here is what I got. So I think I know what it was. I'm going to just disconnect this over here. All right. So right down here, make sure that you have a certificate, a written certification, and you keep this thing and maintain it all the time in the person's personal records to show that you have in compliance with OSHA. So that's really one of the things you really want to make sure you have. And that is truly why I would say the training component for OSHA record keeping, you really for OSHA fall protection, and there's another standard that really is detailed with that, and that is HAZCOM. Well, not only HAZCOM, then there's another one that's really detailed, and that's PPE if you're in general industry. So if you're PPE in general industry, you really have to make sure that you have a hazard assessment for your location, or else that's an easy one to get cited on. Machine guarding. That's number 9, and then number 10 is eye and face protection. So those are the things that we got here that are the most frequently cited standard. I would also turn your attention over here. You got OSHA's industry profile, and then they have the top violations cited by NAICS codes. Those are really good. Once you know your code, you should put this in, and then you'll be able to tell how OSHA is going to cite you. Same thing here with the industry profile. If you have a standard, put in the standard here, and then you could see how OSHA cites for that particular standard. And then this over here is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It looks like this is the most recent for Bureau of Labor Statistics, so I don't know why OSHA hasn't updated this information on their site yet, but it looks like BLS has done their job. Let's take a quick look. If you have anything, again, in the chat, go ahead and put it in the chat for OSHA compliance help questions. So something's bugging you, you got a bet, something's going on at work, and you need a little bit of help because something isn't right. Go ahead. This is your chance. Let's help you out with this right now. You got a consultant on, and I'm willing to help you, so let's do it. So industries, let's see what else. I'm doing a quick overview. The first thing I really want to find out is, has there been any reports on our fatality numbers? Which way is it going? So it looks like these are incidents of non-fatal industries, incidents non-fatal. They do have some impact on COVID-19 for this year. Well, I'm going to have to really dig into this, and once they do, I'm going to print this stuff out, and I'll make it available to you guys. As I don't know why OSHA doesn't have this. They should, but at least BLS has it over here, so that's a good way to find that out. But OSHA should be putting that over here in this section, and hopefully they'll be coming in soon. So I might have to check the BLS site. All right. I've got a question over here. So someone, it looks like this is EU Rich. I got a question or a comment over here, and basically saying that he had to jump off of a 20-foot scaffold and from being electrocuted. So basically that's telling me overhead hazard and jumping off the scaffold. It seems like this is a mobile scaffold in order for this to happen, because if it was a stationary supported scaffold, that's you would probably know as you're going up, that you're getting closer to that. So no harness, you fractured your knee, banged it pretty bad. So in this case, with a fracture, then that one would be more of a recordable event. So just found out that that contract stated wasn't supposed to be climb a ladder. The staffing agency never walked through the site. So therefore, it looks like you're working with a staffing agency, or a staffing agency was there. So doing mobile pressure washing, as it's coming up a little bit further, it looks like you might have a little thing with the text that it's allowing you only a few areas. So I'm glad that you're okay, first of all, and you're able to get off of that scaffolding without getting electrocuted. And that is, there's some finality in that. And truly, there is no coming back from that. Electrical shock, yes, but truly anything else is not. So looks like he is going to the ER. So this might be new. Are you like on the way? Surgeries in 2 days. Okay, so I'm like getting a whole bunch of these coming up. So if this is the case, then I'd be really hard pressed to see scaffolding 20 feet being, mobile scaffold, probably, or it's probably, in my opinion, it could be, I'm not sure, so you're going to have to fill me in. It looks like it could be one of these scaffolds that we're calling a scissor lift, and if that's the case, as you're going up, traversing up with no overhead hazard, electrical hazard, then in this case, truly, you got out of harm's way the best way you knew how. Climbing down on a metal structure would have led to electrocution, so you did the best thing there. If you're getting surgery now, then I would imagine there's maybe some sort of hospitalization as recorded. If you did get a hospital stay, your job should have had called OSHA within 24 hours. If you didn't have a hospital stay, but you did have something that it was more than, you're saying it's surgery, so that means it's more than first aid. So in this case, it goes on their 200 log as well. If you are working with a staffing agency, okay, he says scaffolds are on wheels. So, all right, so that makes more sense to me now. So if the scaffold's on wheels, so someone was moving the scaffold while someone else was on the scaffold. So in that case, that's also something that shouldn't have been done. But if production is all you care about, then that means that they're cutting some corners with you there. So as you're pressure washing the windows, and again, practically, you're doing windows and you don't want to get down, get up, get down, get up. So what it appears that they're doing is someone's literally guiding this scaffolding, and as they're going down, someone's up there working. So this is setting you up for failure altogether as you're going there. So I'm not too sure if that's the case, but that's what it sounds like to me. And then if you're working in a staffing agency, you have dual roles there between the company and the staffing agency as host and contract employer for that employee. Therefore, both will probably be cited with OSHA in that case, if they saw it. So OSHA didn't see this. OSHA only is going to be able to know the record keeping part. They're not going to be able to know the practice part unless they actually witness there, because you need two things for OSHA to cite you. They need exposure and they need hazard. And if OSHA doesn't witness at that time hazard and exposure, you can't get cited. So what they do know is the record keeping side, because now this person was injured or you were injured. So if you're injured, there should be some sort of record keeping on there, and that would be in your OSHA 300 log. So I don't see a question in there per se, but from the situation you gave me, and you're able to, go through the different steps for me. So it looks like what I'm seeing here is you truly have a situation where both the employer and the host company need to train your workers a little bit better. And not only training, it looks like it's more of a corporate thing, meaning your mindset isn't there as far as corporate safety. They said that they contacted OSHA. OSHA closed site down next day. OSHA doesn't have a record log, so that's what's saying here. OSHA can't close sites. They don't have the jurisdiction for that. So truly what happens in those cases is the company then would decide to shut things down. So if they decide to shut things down, then that would be one of the cases where OSHA would be the influencer. Let's say it that way. So OSHA would influence you to shut down, but OSHA doesn't have that jurisdiction. A court does. So if OSHA does decide to go to an administrative law judge and all of a sudden they decide that they need to take legal actions, then that comes from a different entity. But OSHA doesn't have jurisdiction to shut any site down. They just don't have that kind of manpower. They don't have that kind of jurisdiction. They don't have that kind of power. So I also got a question, who's the peeps hanging around my head? So that's my daughter Sierra, and then on the other side is my son Devin. And then my wife and I when we're young. So that's the peeps around my head. The bedroom studio is what this breaks down to, right? Also I hear never watched a video on safety. So no competent person training. So in this area, truly, as I'm seeing this, as it's coming out from this cleaning service, I would see this as being a situation where the system itself has failed this individual, and if it's you, sir or ma'am, then truly this is something that you would have to take on. Jesus is saying, cheers for the family. Yes, that is the family around. Of course, they're all little there, but now they're 23 and 21. So I'm a little, don't you see these grays? My kids are big now, so I do not have them with me. They flew the coop. They're on their own. Oh, my daughter, she's there too. So cheers for the family. All right. Any questions on compliance that you may need to have? I'm going to have to round up pretty soon because I do need to do my OSHA 10-hour class virtual, and I got to set that up. So I just want to take this time. I'm going to do this again on Thursday. So this week I'm going to do Tuesday and Thursday, same time at 11 o'clock. So this might have hit you surprised. I kind of posted it on Sunday, but you can plan for same time same delivery system on Thursday. We're going to do this again at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, my time. And I want to thank everyone for truly going out there and, giving me some questions and helping me out. I know as I do this more and more frequently, I'll probably be able to get more and more questions too. So I'm also, giving you guys a chance to type in anything else as you go. So this is the one last chance as you have it there. Type in any questions. I am rounding up as we see over here. I am rounding up, looking at the top of the hour as being, the 10-minute mark. So before I leave, though, I know that you might be typing. So if someone's doing one of these, typing in your questions, I'm giving you a little time to, get your question in over there. I do want to show you one thing. I am doing OSHA Compliance Masterclass, as I'm calling it. It comes from my course, the OSHA Compliance Masterclass course, but I decided let's do an event for you people. So you would have to do sheldonprimus.com/events. Then you do the description of the masterclass. Right now, general tickets are not ready, but if you scroll down over here, you're going to see the early bird tickets are available right now. And I'm only going to do 10 early bird tickets for this one until December 18th. And then after that, I'm going to open up to the general public. Early birds will have access to this class for a full year after the event. And then the regular general admission, they're only going to have 6 months available to them after the event. But you guys, for deciding early, decisively, then go ahead and do that. You're going to get an extra benefit for that one. So sheldonprimus.com/events. And it is a one-day thing. I'm going to give you an OSHA Compliance Masterclass in a one-day event. In this, actually, it is a 2-day event because I split it up in 2 different sections. So we're going to start at 12 p.m. and we're going to end at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's my time. And then we're going to do it again the next day. So it's going to be a 2-day event. And then we're going to do again 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and I'm going to help you understand OSHA a little bit better. So for your jobs, we're really going to, I want to make sure that I give you guys the best you could do for OSHA compliance for your company. And then when you're ready to start your own business, then you're going to be even much, better for that. Is that a word? Much better? I don't know. I got to work on that one. You're going to be more compliant. Let's say it that way. Or you could be more marketable. How's that? You could be more marketable if you go ahead and take this. So thanks everyone for chipping in for the individual. I only see the company name, so I was not able to see your name as you gave me your scaffolding scenario. I wish you well with your surgery, and I hope that you will come out of that one, doing well and walking after you get yourself together. So thank you. I really appreciate you giving some feedback. Everyone in the room that gave some feedback, thank you. Jesus for the feedback. I had early Juanita got some feedback in there as well. Mr. Allen, Mr. Maciel, Pedro. Me and you, we got to get on. If you're still on, send me a text. Brent, well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it, and I'll, keep doing this. I'm going to try to do twice a week. If not, I'm going to do, twice a week when I'm not working and teaching or with a client is going to be Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock. But if I have client or teaching obligations, I'm going to make those in the evening. So I'm still going to do twice a week. I'm still going to go for Tuesday and Thursday. It's just the time frame is going to be different if I have client obligations, because I'm still an active consultant. I'm not retired over here. I still work for myself doing some consulting, and I do training too. So if I have a week where I could be more flexible, then I would prefer to do 11 a.m. So, all right, that's my dog telling me that it's time to get going. All right, gang, thank you. And listen to the show. Go to safetyfmplus.com, and I will see you guys, later. Go get them.
Bye.